Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. We're going to talk about how you're going to build your freelancer portfolio. And this is a very important step when you're transitioning from being in the corporate industry to becoming a virtual assistant or a remote worker. So in our previous video, we talked about the difference between applying in a virtual assistant agency or a virtual assistant company to looking for clients. But no matter what you choose, whether you want to apply in a virtual assistant company or you want to look for direct clients, you need a portfolio, whether it be a LinkedIn portfolio, a website, something that you use in Canva. You need a portfolio because this is what you're going to use to show your clients and to show your potential clients what you are all about, what your skills are, what you're good at. So this is where you will highlight all of your skills so that they'll hire you. But you better watch this whole video because this is how you will actually learn how to create a portfolio even if you don't have any experience as a virtual assistant or a remote worker. Even if you don't have experience at all from any type of work, you can use this video as a reference on how to build that portfolio. But before we jump into it, let me introduce myself, especially if you're new here in my channel. My name is Mia. I am currently a training and onboarding manager where we hire and train executive virtual assistants. Prior to that, I started off as an executive virtual assistant way back in 2021 with no prior remote work or freelancing experience. I used to have a small business, a wedding and events planning business, and I also used to work in a call center as a call center agent. Now let's jump right in. First up, a good news for you. You actually don't need experience to show that you are capable of doing the work, especially in an industry like being a virtual assistant or being a social media manager or being a video editor. All of these skills you can learn through practice. That experience that you garnered or gained from practicing and researching about the job is something that can help you build that portfolio. And that's the reason why I love working from home or being a remote worker, because you can learn, you can build experience, and then you can show or showcase all the things that you learn so that you can start getting clients or getting hired by virtual assistant companies. So today I'm going to walk you through how you're going to do that. Let's start off with the first one, and this is why you need to have a portfolio, or the importance of having a portfolio or a resume or anything that would show your experience or your capability. It's very simple. The reason why you need a portfolio or you need a resume is for you to show your clients, your potential clients, the company that you are applying to, the recruiter or the HR manager, that you are capable of the work that the job description requires. Another reason why a portfolio is important is because it builds credibility and trust. Especially now when credibility is actually always in question. As someone who does recruitment of executive virtual assistants, knowing that creating your resume or creating a cover letter or going through an application process, you can easily choose AI tools such as ChatGPT to help you throughout all of those items and even the application process. So in this day and age where credibility and authenticity is sometimes in question, creating an authentic portfolio will help you build trust and, of course, credibility in your portfolio. And last but definitely not the least, a portfolio helps you stand out amongst other applicants. Right now, we know that the virtual assistant industry is already saturated with a lot of people wanting to become remote worker or become a virtual assistant. You have competition from different parts of the world, not just in our country, especially our Filipino viewers here. We have a lot of competition in the Philippines, but we also have a lot of competitions from other countries. So the virtual assistant industry is definitely saturated with a lot of interests from different individuals. So standing out is very important, and you should start to stand out from your portfolio or your resume. Now let's talk about what to include in your resume. First and foremost, of course, is your introduction or your bio section. This is where you talk about who you are, quickly describe a bit of your personality, a little bit of your experience, and something personal about you that will humanize you and build an instant connection with your recruiter or your potential client. Your bio should also focus on what your specialty is. It should highlight, for example, I help businesses create meaningful content, or I help individuals with editing videos, or providing or creating videos that convert. So you have to make sure that you are specific, that you can attract your potential customer or your ideal customer or your ideal client through your bio. It should be short, direct, and sweet. You can use ChatGPT to help you with this one. Another thing that you should include in your bio is who you help. So just like I mentioned in that sample, I help influencers, or I help wedding planners streamline their systems or automate their systems, automate their processes. I help small businesses with admin tasks such as inbox management, so on and so forth. So you have to make sure that in your bio, you show who you are, you show what your skills are, and you tell them who your ideal clients are and who you help. Next part of your portfolio should include your skills and tools that you know how to use. Skills will be, example, for executive virtual assistants, focuses on admin tasks like inbox management, calendar management, travel, household, SOP creation, workflow, and documentation. So these are some of the skills that you're going to highlight, and you will write down a few description for each of the skill. And then on the next part, you also have all of the tools that you know how to use. So make sure that you highlight tools like Google Workspace, Microsoft Outlook, or Microsoft Office. You also have tools like Canva or project management tools and CRM tools like Zoho or HubSpot or ClickUp. So make sure to highlight the tools that you know how to use, because this is very important, especially for remote workers. Next are some of your work examples. So for executive virtual assistants, like most of my audience here, your work examples can be templates that you created or templates that you use for your clients. Now, take note, if you've never had any work experience before, you've never had any clients before, this is just really you fresh out of college, or just somebody who never worked before and you're trying out being a virtual assistant, make sure that you create already sample templates that you learned from trainings that you attended or from videos like this that you've watched. So creating those sample templates for admin work is very important to showcase that you know how to use the tools that you've highlighted and you said that you know how to use. So creating templates in Google Docs or Sheets, creating templates in Notion, creating templates in ClickUp. Those are some of the most important sample works that you can highlight and showcase in your portfolio. Another sample here for executive VAs is you can create a sample itinerary or a sample contact list that is automated or with a lot of different categories. So make sure that you highlight your skills on how you use different tools. For other niches such as social media manager or video editors, you can create your own edited videos, your own sample Canva creations. So make sure that you have that sample portfolio, even if you've never had any clients before. Next is for those who already have previous clients. You can include testimonials from your previous clients, like a quick great job for doing this or amazing working with you. So those testimonials, make sure that you are able to share them. But before doing so, make sure that you get explicit approval from your client that you can share those testimonials. Another thing that you can do if you've had experience before, you can ask directly from your clients testimonials that they can share so that you can post that on your LinkedIn page or LinkedIn profile or your portfolio. If you've never had any experience before, you can get testimonials by providing free services to your friends or family members, right? You can ask probably one of your family members who works at a small business, can I create some sample works for you, or can I create sample templates from you in Google Sheets or in Notion? Can I create a database for you on ClickUp or in a CRM? In exchange, just provide me with a testimonial of how you think I did my work. So those are some of the things that you can do if you don't have experience and needing to get a testimonial. And lastly, on your portfolio, make sure that you include a call to action like your contact information, how they'll be able to reach you, where other social media platforms they can see your sample works, or anything that they can connect with you. A link directly in booking a discovery call with you is something that's also very important when you create portfolios for your services as a remote worker. Next thing when creating portfolios is you can create case studies or sample works. This is something that I already mentioned earlier, but let's focus and zone in on that. Let's talk about some steps on how you can actually create sample works or a case study. First is choose a task that is related to your niche. So for executive virtual assistants, a sample task can be creating a recommendation list for dog adoption services, or creating a recommendation list for cardiologists or different service providers. You can also create a sample event planning program or a travel itinerary. So you can go to ChatGPT and you can actually ask ChatGPT to provide you some sample scenarios wherein you will create an actual template or an actual output that you will use as your case study. If you are in the creative niche, then you can create a sample scenario. Let's say you have a client in the wedding events industry and you are going to create a Instagram page for them or a website for them or a wedding video for them. So anything that has to do with your niche, you can easily ask. You don't have to actually think about it. You can ask ChatGPT. Just make sure that you use a correct prompt, like you will tell ChatGPT you are an aspiring executive virtual assistant and you want to include a case study or a sample work in your portfolio, but you don't have an experience yet. So what are sample works or sample scenarios that you can provide me so that I can create a sample database, so on and so forth. And then ChatGPT will provide you with those sample scenarios and you can start creating a output for that. And then that's what you can use as your sample work or case study. Now that you have that sample scenario, you will start creating that project or creating that output. I already mentioned creating a travel itinerary or a contact list. So just do whatever sample scenarios you feel like you can create beautifully. The next thing that you're going to do with your case study is you're going to explain each of the part, like explain what the task is, explain the tools that you used to create that output, and then explain what the results are and what the goal is of that specific case study. Now that we already know what to include in a portfolio, how to create a sample work or a case study, let's talk about the different ways that you can actually showcase or create your portfolio. Well, you can do it in a different way, but the easiest way that you can create a sample work, especially for executive virtual assistants, is to create a Loom video explaining what the task is, explaining how you came up with this template, and then explaining what the goal is. That's what we do as executive virtual assistants. But if you are in the creative side, then just sample work, a link to a sample Instagram feed can already be your case study or your sample work included in your portfolio. Another thing that you can do first is you can use a Google Doc or a Canva page where you will create a one-pager visual portfolio. Since we are already on Canva, you can actually create a website of your portfolio. You can also create a multiple page portfolio converted into a PDF, just like my portfolio, which I have been showing all throughout this video. If you want the actual sample of my portfolio that you can use as reference, I linked the downloadable PDF version of my portfolio down below. Another tool to use is Google Sites or a Notion workspace. With Notion, you can actually turn it into a website once you publish it publicly. With Google Sites, it's just like creating your Canva template and using it as a website. Easiest way also to create a portfolio is through LinkedIn. So all you have to do is fix your LinkedIn profile. You can link your portfolios there. You can even export your LinkedIn profile into a resume or a curriculum vitae. And I already mentioned this earlier, you can also create a Loom video introducing yourself and showing your portfolio and explaining each part of your portfolio. But make sure that your Loom video is a maximum of 2 minutes only and don't go over, because clients no longer have the time to watch your whole video. So make sure that it's limited to 2 minutes so that you get your client's attention immediately within a short span of time. And there you have it. With or without experience, you can actually build a portfolio that can attract clients and can get you that virtual assistant company job that you have been waiting for. If you have any more questions about how to build your portfolio that I wasn't able to answer in this video, make sure to comment it down below and I'm going to try and answer all of your questions. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel as well so that you can learn more about how to become a successful remote worker, especially as an executive virtual assistant. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Mia and I'll see you on our next video next Thursday.